You ready for a bike ride? Thumbs up for yes, thumbs down for no. Don't care? Okay. So this is it, guys, my last ever ride in Qingdao. So currently getting the house packed up, getting ready to move. So yeah, I've got some unfinished business. So there's 3 climbs and I want to beat my personal record for all of them. The problem is they're on the other half of the city, so I need to take a taxi there, go across the bay, otherwise I'd be riding like 100 kilometers there, 100 kilometers back, which is a bit much for me. So yeah, I want to smash those personal records, have a good time, last time on the climbs, and yeah, that's it really. Hopefully having a good day, that's the goal for today. So this is the state of the house currently, packing everything away, getting everything in boxes, ready to move. So hopefully this should be done soon, and then I am free to go to a new city. Got the bike bag here, so once I finish this ride, the bike's gonna go in there. So this is the first of 3 climbs. This one is 9.2 kilometers at 4%, but that's a bit off a trick really. The first 3 or 4 kilometers are only like 1 or 2%, but then towards the end it gets really steep. There's peak gradients on this climb of about 20%, so this is really not a very nice climb at all. Straight into the first bit here, I've already got a bit of a lead. You can see on the right hand side how far ahead I am of my personal record. It's a very, very hot day today, 37 degrees. The sun is just beaming down on me. So this is probably going to take me a bit over half an hour. So I'm aiming to keep it around 300 watts. That's the goal for this one. So let's see how I do. Okay, so let's speed it up a bit, otherwise we'll be here all day. So keeping it pretty steady for the first bit. This is the easy part of the climb, 1-2% for about 3 or 4 kilometers before it gets really hard. And I'm keeping it around 250 to 300 watts. I really don't want to go out too hard because then I will just burn up at the end. I know I need to have some energy in the legs for the really steep gradients because that's when it gets really hard. At those points I really struggle. So I'm already about 350 meters ahead of my previous personal best. I think on previous attempts I didn't go out as hard as I should have because I didn't really know this climb as well, but now I know this climb very well, so I know where I can push and where I shouldn't push. So about 2.7 Ks in at the moment, I've done 120 meters of elevation gain. No, that's not right. I've done 57 meters of elevation gain already. The total altitude is at the bottom here, is 131 meters. So yeah, not too bad so far. 8 minutes in, still it's a pretty hot day like I said, and I'm already starting to feel it. My heart rate is around 160 beats per minute. I know that my maximum is about 189, so if I reach that then I'm really suffering. Anything over 170 is working hard, but 160 range is just about okay for me. So I should mention that the time I'm trying to beat is 35 minutes and 37 seconds with an average power of 258 watts. So on a day which is this hot, I wouldn't expect to be able to beat that because it is just not a nice day for this. Really, it would be nice to do it in the winter with better weather. So we are now approaching the first really steep part of the climb. As you can see, the gradient has just shot up from about 5 or 6% up to about 17. And this is where I really struggle. Even on my lowest gear, which is a 34-34 1-to-1 ratio, I'm absolutely grinding at about 60 RPMs. I'm still putting out around 400 watts, but I really struggle to get up this bit. It is like a vertical wall here. It's not nice at all to climb, but I am slowly losing distance to my previous record. So I have to suffer through about another 2 minutes of these horrible gradients. It levels out for a little bit and then it goes back up to the really steep parts again. And I do get to the top of this, but the distance between me and my personal record has now gone down to about 250 meters. But fortunately, there is a bit of a rest bite here where the road levels out and I have a bit of downhill where I have a chance to rest. So on the really steep bit, my heart rate got up to about 175 beats per minute, which is quite high for this early in the climb. We're not even halfway at this point, so I was really pushing myself there. I did manage to recover to about 160 on the little downhill bit, but straight away we're back onto the hard percents. It's up to about 7%, 10% here. But I've managed to pull out a bit of a lead over my previous self. So I'm about 500 meters ahead now, but you can see the distance really is shooting down quite quickly. So we're about 20 minutes in and I'm already struggling quite a lot. 15 minutes to go, thereabouts, so let's skip forward a bit. So this bit here is the second really steep bit, 15% gradients, and I am so done. Heart rate is around 180 and I'm really struggling to put out any power here. 300 watts at about 45 RPM is not sustainable at all, but that's all I can do at this point. 17%, literally just forcing myself up here. 182, and that's me almost done. This is like my final push. I know I've got another 3 or 4 minutes by the time I get past this really steep bit, but I just have to get up this bit, because if I stop here, there's no starting again. Heart rate 185, that is way too high for me. 20% gradients, and this is awful. So I managed to force my way through it. We're around 30 minutes now. The weather has actually cooled down. It's only 32 degrees now. Heart rate is still around 180, which shows I haven't had much of a chance to recover, but really coming to the final ends of this climb now. I've managed to maintain a steady gap of around 250 meters to my previous time, but it's not looking that good. I am pretty much out of energy at this point. Normally on a climb like this, I would save something in the tank for the end, but on this one, I feel like I've paced it quite well. I don't have any energy left to surge the end. Normally I'd put in like a 500 watt dig for the final minute or so, but I can't really do that. I'm literally just staying at around 300, and that is me done. Here we are, almost at the finish line. Oh, fucking hell. Right, that's it. First climb done. Managed to get the PR by 1 minute. The first half I was ahead by like 2 minutes, and then the heat got to me. The steepness increased, and I dropped about a minute, so I'm only about a minute ahead at the end. The heat is ridiculous. You can see my face, I'm so red. I feel like awful. I didn't have the energy for the end for like a sprint push to the line, which normally I would. So I think that means I was definitely done. All right, so anyway, first one out of 3 finished. I'm gonna take this descent and then have a nice, I think it's 10-15 kilometers to base the next one. Literally just relax, get some food in me. Yeah, because that was tough. That was not nice at all. 34 minutes of climbing, absolutely brutal. Here we are at the base of the second climb. This one is 3.1 kilometers at 6%, so total elevation gain of 204 meters, and it is actually a category 3 climb. So I would like to say I already have 697 meters of climbing in my legs, so I'm not feeling that good for this already. So my personal record is 15 minutes and 39 seconds, and I don't know my average power for this climb because I did this last time before I actually had a power meter. So I'm just going to try to keep myself ahead of my old time. So already got 20 meters ahead, so not too bad at the beginning, and I'm just going to try to keep myself a little bit ahead of that. So this climb is a lot shorter than the previous one, but the average gradient is a lot higher. However, this one isn't so bad in that there isn't any really steep sections. The highest this one goes to is about 10%. There's no ridiculous sections of like 20 or 17% like in the previous climb, so this one is a bit more consistent. I'm not really going all out for this one because this is the second to last climb, and before the third climb all I do is descend and then go straight back up. All I want to do here is just beat my personal record by a little bit. I'm not trying to like smash it on this one. For the second and third climbs, my previous PRs were set on relatively fresh legs, but this time I've already got so much climbing in them that any sort of personal record I'd be happy with, to be honest. I'm still managing to keep about 20 meters ahead. It's actually set on my Garmin that I can see a time difference in real life, but when I was setting this up on the computer, I couldn't figure out how to do that, so I could only figure out how to do a distance ahead instead. So it's a bit different to what I'd be seeing on the bike computer, but still it's pretty cool. All right, so we're about halfway up now, 8 minutes in, and my heart rate is around 172, so it's not too high. It's a sort of manageable level, but it's still quite difficult. Like I said, there's no really steep parts of this, so I'm managing to keep my cadence consistent around 80 to 90, which is much better than when it drops down to like 60 and you really have to grind. Still almost there, about 2 minutes to go, and I'm still just about ahead of my previous record. 165 heart rate, keeping it quite comfortable. The weather has dropped a bit now. It's only 28 degrees, and I'm actually quite comfortable with that. It's when it gets over 30 that I really start to suffer, and now I'm almost at the top. About 1 minute to go. I'm still ahead by about 60 meters, definitely pulling a bit of a lead here, and just about to cross over the summit right now.
So I managed to knock about 30 seconds off that one, which wasn't too bad. I kept it relatively easy with just an average of 270 watts, 166 beats per minute averaged. It was not too difficult, that one. Like I said, I didn't want to go all out for that. So the next climb is literally at the bottom of the other side of the climb, and then I'm going to turn around and then come straight back up. So let's fast forward to that. So this is it, third and final climb, 2.6 kilometers at 7%, 188 meters total of elevation gain. So this is the only climb out of the three that doesn't have a descent halfway, so no resting on this climb whatsoever. And I already have 900 meters of elevation in my legs, so if I manage to beat my personal record on this, I will be very happy. Right, straight into it, and I'm pretty much just trying to match my old time and saving a bit of energy so I can like out-sprint myself at the line. So my previous personal record was 14 minutes and 16 seconds with an average power of 286 watts. I actually do have some lightweight climbing wheels now, so it could be that the difference might be that extra kilogram saved, so we will see. Right, so let's speed it up a bit. A minute in and my heart rate is already pretty high. I didn't really rest before this climb, so my legs are already feeling terrible. This one is quite steep and there are very steep sections. It doesn't go up to really high percentages. I think the maximum is about 12, but that is still quite a lot for me. Heart rate is around 170, which is okay for me. I'm not very far ahead of my previous record, just 20 meters ahead on the road, and my total distance I've cycled so far is 54.8 kilometers, so I'm really quite a long way into this ride, and there's been a lot of climbing today, so my legs are very exhausted. 5 minutes into this one, and I'm not pulling any sort of a gap whatsoever. I am only just ahead. The weather really has cooled down now. The sun has gone in and it's just cloudy. I think the sun really does make it so much worse. It's still 27 degrees, but not having the sun shining on you definitely makes you feel a lot better. I'm actually behind now. My old record has overtaken me, so I have to put in a bit of a dig to make sure I manage to stay ahead. We are pretty much even at this point, and it is difficult all the way. Still trying to average about 280 to 290 watts. My FTP is around 280, so I know I should be able to maintain that for at least 15 minutes, even though I have a lot of exhaustion already in the legs. This is really the final few minutes of this climb now, and I am so tired at this point. I really just wish it were over. The rain clouds are actually coming in and it is about to absolutely chuck it down with rain, so I managed to time this perfectly because it's a bit dangerous to climb on these roads in the rain, and just about coming to the finish. This is the peak just here. So I managed to do it in 14 minutes, which is 16 seconds quicker than my previous time, and curiously it was actually 3 watts lower, so having a lighter set of wheels definitely did make a bit of a difference here. Overall, I was pretty happy to get a PR on all 3 climbs. It's a nice way to summarize my time here in Qingdao. Moving forward, I'm going to be making videos about the new city I'm moving to, which is in Shenzhen, which is the very south of China. I'm also going to be making some videos during the summer holiday of my time in England, where I'll be making lots of different cycling videos. So if you want to see that, be sure to subscribe, be sure to hit the like button, and to help out the channel.
So I made it up that hill just in time. It's absolutely chucking it down now. Waiting by the metro station in the dry and take the taxi home. Yeah, it's not very nice at all. It's gone from being like 35 degrees to proper thunderstorm weather. That's what you get for living in the tropics, I guess. Alright, that's it for this one. See you later.